Got the truck loaded up, guys. I do have some camping gear, but I also have some weird stuff that's normally not with me when I go camping. Uh, Meaning like a vacuum cleaner and some other supplies. Got a surprise, guys. I'm kind of halfway through my journey right now when I'm stopping to check in with you guys. Just ran into Walmart to get a few last minute things. Stick with me. It's going to be fun. I think you guys are really going to like this. It's a big addition to the channel and my life, so stick with me. Welcome, guys. This is the big surprise. This is my family generational cabin, homestead, farmstead, whatever you want to call it. This property has been in my family for at least 100 years, and it's older than that. My great grandfather bought this. It means a lot to me to be here today. I just found out that me and my sister have taken ownership of this property. My dad and my grandma decided that it was time to sign the property over to me and my sister, keep it in the family, move it on to the next generation, and I couldn't be more excited. I spent a lot of time here as a kid, but it feels different now. As I got older and started working, I didn't spend near as much time up here. It's a little bit of a drive from where I live in Pennsylvania, where this is in West Virginia. And I haven't spent as much time here as I feel like I should have in the last probably 10 years of my life or so, but I'm happy to be back, happy to have a little bit more free time on my hands. And we got a lot of work to do. We still hold a large family reunion here every year in the summer. So the house and property does get used at least once a year. And then in hunting season, it gets used a little bit. But with that being said, a lot of things are in disrepair and need some TLC. I'm going to give you guys a whole tour, show you all the outbuildings, show you the house, show you some of the property. I need the ATV to get to the rest. We have 60 plus acres here. The deed says it's 60 more or less, and then Onyx Hunt shows about 70. So who knows? It's somewhere around 60 to 70 acres. Plenty for me. I couldn't be more happy. Another good thing about this property is I'm surrounded basically on all sides, except for maybe in the very back, by family property. My cousins or my great aunts and uncles own pretty much all the other land that surrounds this. So it's very tight knit and very private. So it's a great place to be. Give you guys a look at the barn real quick. Old log barn. Oh yeah. It's a gorgeous building if I can keep it from falling down, but it definitely needs a ton of work. And obviously the house does too. But I love the way this barn looks. It's part of the history of the property, so I would love to keep it standing best I can. But she needs some repair. I'm not gonna really go walking around in that barn until I have my dad or somebody here with me, because it looks like there's a lot of sharp, rotten stuff in there. If you know what I mean. It's been a great afternoon so far. Seen all kinds of deer, heard some turkeys, saw some eagles. It's been a great day. Here you can kind of get a view from the front of the house there. Little pavilion over there that we normally have picnic tables under. A couple outbuildings back there. Spring house, which I can see from here is going to need a little bit of work. Let's go check out this building here. Yeah, this back half of the building had a serious collapse. What do you guys think? That'll buff out? Yeah. This is what I don't want to happen to the barn. And if, you know, it's a lot to do, but if you don't keep a roof on it and, you know, replace the rotted pieces of wood, this will happen with time. So this is the other side of the spring house, and there is a spring up here on the hill on this side, and it's gravity fed. There's a pipe that runs underground, and it comes into under this building here. There's a tank in there with an electric pump that provides water to the house. So the house gets natural spring water right out of the mountain. Another view of the house from, I guess, what you would call the front. I don't know. That side might be the front. There's some happy little moos down there. My cousin has some, keeps some cows here. There's a little building down there. I believe that was an old chicken house, if I'm not wrong. My dad can correct me, but I believe that was a chicken house. And I think when I was a kid, there was a second one of those right there where those tires are laying, and it kind of collapsed and fell down. Kind of like that building over there. Here's another old outbuilding. Needs some love. Old outhouse. What do you think about that? That building is not too bad a shape. A lot of these buildings are just kind of full of like old, I don't want to say junk, but it's mostly junk. They just need cleaned out and patched up a little bit. I'll show you guys inside of this one. We got some refrigerators in here for when we have our family reunion. Cornhole boards, charcoal, tire swing. Check out these old refrigerators. They still work. Old Firestone refrigerator. This is Hot Point. They're still keeping food cold every year. Show you guys the pavilion real quick. When we have our family reunion here, this equipment's moved out of here, and we put picnic tables under here. Now, this is something that was built, I don't know exactly when, but within the last 30 years. Has electricity out here from the house. It's an old barbecue pit. I mean, I say old, but we still use it. Just need to restack the blocks. Sometimes the cows get a little happy and they nudge the blocks around. But yeah, fill this up with charcoal, put a big grate across the top. We do like a kind of like a chicken barbecue that you would get at like a Legion or something like that. It's really cool. Old walnut tree. Look at that little swing, guys. That was here when I was a kid. I don't think I'm getting on that. I need to get a log and replace that for the new generation of kids that come up here. When I say that, I'm talking about during our family reunion and stuff like that. Old basketball hoop. Now, one of my cousins was nice enough to get us a new swing set, because we did have a swing set from when I was a child up here, but it eventually rotted. So we got a brand new swing set up here. I'm assuming it's rated for 200 pounds. When was the last time you went swinging? And talking about on a swing set. Okay. Goodness. I'm dizzy. I'm getting hot. I think it's supposed to get up to around 60 degrees, but it's humid. And not the kind of humid what makes me cold. Not like a... I feel like a lot of the time when it's in the 50s and 60s and it's humid, it's kind of like damp cold. Not today. I'm getting heated up. It's probably this $6 jacket I got from Goodwill, keeping all my body heat in. I'll give you a tour of the inside here soon. I gotta get these muddy boots off because it's been very wet and sloppy. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm not taking that inside. Okay, guys, I think it's finally time to show you the inside. I took my muddy boots off because I didn't want to drag mud inside. The cabin, for the most part, on the inside, just needs cleaned. It's pretty nice in there. I need to bring up lots of light bulbs. Almost all the light bulbs are burnt out, so I had to scavenge to try to find some. And when I get later in this project this week, I'm probably going to have to move lights from room to room. Take them with me, whatever. Let's get started. First thing you need to know is it's separated. There's a breezeway here in the middle. This is the living side. This is the kitchen side. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe they call this a summer kitchen. And they did this in the 1800s and the 1900s to, number one, protect the living area from fire and vice versa, and to not overheat the living area. Because a lot of these old cabins, old homesteads, stuff like this, used wood burning stoves to cook on. And in August in West Virginia, it's very hot, and you don't want to be heating your living area up to 100 degrees running a wood stove. Let's check it out. Kitchen's up first. As you can see, it's not too terrible in here. Got this super old home comfort stove. It's a cook stove, so you can burn wood in here. It also has an electric side with an electric oven. Going to be cooking my dinner on that. And then we have a less old Frigidaire stove, but let me guys know, when do you think this stove was built? It also says GM on it. Custom Deluxe Frigidaire. 60s, 70s? Let me know. As you can see, I have a lot of my cooking and cleaning supplies in here. It's pretty basic, pretty small. Pantry cupboard, relatively modern refrigerator that you find in a lot of households, probably from the late 90s, early 2000s, something like that. Microwave over there. Hand-built cabinets out of hardwood that my granddad made. probably back in the 90s, which are in amazing condition. And just like kind of like a Formica countertop and a double sink. So this all is super functional. And I would love, I know this would be, I don't even know how much this thing weighs. I know it would be a bear, but I would love to get this stove fully restored. It fits with this cabin. And you might be asking why we have two stoves. That's because, like I've talked about, when we have our family reunion, I'm talking there's a lot of people here, and sometimes we use all this to cook. Also, my granddad was a master electrician, so there was no big deal having to run extra 220 lines. He could do anything he wanted. Oh, he also put in recessed lighting, which is kind of crazy. That light bulb is burnt out, and there's no other light bulbs, so it's a little bit dark in here. This is probably the most modern room. This is the dining room. Little stained glass chandelier there. Also recessed lighting. Have a little bit of a water issue there we got to repair. But this was one of the last projects my granddad did before he passed away. Big, beautiful window. Looking out across the mountain there. Watch the cows down there. And this is stuff out of my grandmother's old house. Stuff that we have for our reunion. I got to get all this cleaned up. There's a sliding glass door here that he installed, which is, I'm not even going to touch it. It's on its last leg. It needs to be replaced. But I'm hoping I can find some of this stuff that I need at, I don't know if you guys have these near you, but they're called restores. And they sell a bunch of stuff like that. I mean, this room is just picture this. I'm going to set the mood for you. My wife really wants to make canned goods on this old-fashioned cook stove. So let's imagine my wife made some jelly and some sourdough bread, and we're sitting here eating our jelly and sourdough bread, looking out of our giant window, and the snow's coming down. What do you think about that? Is that a good mood setter for you? And here we got the bathroom. You can go out of the bathroom that way onto the porch. So if you're coming from the living area, you don't have to walk through the kitchen and everything. Or you can come through the dining room. These lights miraculously work. Need to get this cleaned up. This originally wasn't here. This is something my granddad built. Originally, it was just the outhouse that you guys saw that looks out to outer space when you sit down. Toilet needs replaced. Something happened with the winterization and the toilet is cracked. So, new toilet. I need to bring that in one of the next couple times I come so I can turn the water back on. You got a little electric heater in there and an old cast iron tub. Need some barkeeper's friend in there and get all that stuff cleaned out. But yeah, the bathroom needs a little bit of cleaning. Looks like we got a little bit of water stuff going on up there. But for the most part, everything looks pretty good. I might do some paint in here as well. I'll probably leave this paneling. But I wonder if leaving the paneling and then going to like an off-white might look good. But my granddad was painting stuff gray before that was even popular. Back to the dining room here, and here's just a little, if I can get it open. Goodness. Little utility room. Gotta clean that insulation up. I guess the mice or squirrel or something had a heyday in there. But yeah, that's a little hot water heater. He even rigged up a little, where's the switch for it? Right here. A little heat lamp. That's a heat lamp to keep this area a little bit warm if you have the heat turned down low. But this section and the kitchen do have electric heat, so you don't have to burn the wood stove all the time. Got electric heat there, and I made sure everything was moved away from it. Because electric baseboard heat, you don't want anything touching it. Then we got a heat there. Look there. There's me and my sister. We were some cute little kids, weren't we? You notice I talked about the things my grandfather did a lot. He unfortunately passed away pretty young at 63, and that was in 2003. So I was 11 years old. So since then, not much has been touched to this house. Just a few simple repairs here and there for like stuff that was dire. But it's kind of been left alone. Things have gotten piled up, as you guys can see. And I want to return the house to the way it was when I was a little kid. When I was coming up here, 8, 9, 10 years old, exploring the mountain, going sled riding, going deer hunting with my dad and my grandfather. That's what I want. That's what we're going to work towards. The porch has lighting the whole way across. These two light bulbs work. I was able to put those out here because there's no restroom in the living area. So you have to come out here if you need to go to the bathroom. So there's another light here that needs replaced. This is another door into the living area, which you guys just saw the refrigerators on the other side of that door. I would love to have this door operational, but I don't know what we can do with the refrigerator. That'll have to be something maybe I can figure out some other time. Right now it works. That door's been shut like that since I was a kid. This is where you're going to see the most amount of junk is in the living area. See if I can get back here in this corner. So we got some wood paneling in here. I love the aesthetic. This is perfect hunting cabin aesthetic for me. I just love that. But I really need to get cleaned up. Some of this stuff's mine that I brought in here. But there's a beautiful king wood stove right there with a blower mounted on the back of it that will heat this whole living area, like get it real hot. So I need to get this all cleaned up because I'd love to use that wood stove. Recliner, couch, sweet 1970 something chair, along with that leather one over there. I mean, could you ask for more? Then I gotta take care of all this stuff. Here's one of the bedrooms, and I've already cleaned this bedroom up. I had to kind of just hurry up and get this done, so I had a nice place to sleep before it got too late, before we move on to the rest of the house and do all that kind of stuff. But you got two beds, full bed, two windows, this beautiful, I know everybody wants this in their farmhouses now, but this, I don't know what you call it, shiplap, whatever you want to call it, but basically boards for the walls and stuff. So you got a twin bed and a full bed in here. Cleaned it all up, got the carpet all nice and clean, cleaned out all the bugs from the windows. There's still some flies in here, which I got to get some fly strips. But just simple. And I don't know what else you need. And believe me, if you're sleeping in here and that wood stove's right there, you're getting hot. And this is just a little storage compartment under the stairs here. There's just some more reunion stuff in there. But yeah, I'm very happy with the way this turned out. Took me like, I don't know, 3 or 4 hours. So like I said, I just had to put the phone down and get it clean so I have a nice place to sleep. Okay, we're going to make our way upstairs. Unfortunately, it's going to be a little bit dark because there's no light up there. But nice, beautiful curved staircase that you see in a lot of these older homes. I don't even know. Here's the bedroom at the top of the steps. Full bed, twin bed, kind of like that room down there. Needs serious cleaning though. Serious cleaning. Lots of dead bugs everywhere. Probably could use some paint too, but we'll just get it cleaned up first. And then I guess you could call this the master suite of the cabin. Tell you what, everything still feels pretty solid. There's nothing squishy about this house. Wood paneling, of course. I believe this was, I don't know if my granddad bought this just for this or if this was left over from him and my grandma's house, but king size bed. Beautiful 10-point up there on the wall. And this is just a room. More stuff to clean up. Single window. Little closet area. Some paintings I think my dad did when he was a kid. Maybe my dad and his brother each did one. I don't remember the story, but look at that cat. I mean, that's artistic. Yeah, that's the upstairs. And this is the living area of the house. Quite small, but all you need. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4. You got 5 beds. So plenty of places for people to sleep. Just needs a good cleaning, guys. As you can see, I got my work cut out for me. It's going to be great. Childhood glory. That's what I want. Alrighty, guys. Time for some quick, simple, easy dinner. Let's see here, right front. Gonna make some chicken quesadillas. And I already went ahead and made the chicken at home. I already chopped it up and everything. Bell pepper, onion, seasonings in there. A little olive oil in here. Let this pan cook up. I can't tell you how long it's been since I've used this stove. I do know this stove works. Home comfort. It's also a cook stove too. So you can run it like a wood stove, heat this section of the house, kitchen here, and cook on top of it. So that's pretty cool. Feels like it's warming up. Yeah. Should have brought enough of this chicken here to last us for 2 meals. So we can have quesadillas again if we want them for lunch. Got my big old quesadilla here. And we're just going to heat this up in a dry skillet. Gonna go with a little bit of quesadilla, shredded cheese, a little bit of spicy Mexican style shredded cheese, and then we're gonna just fold that over like that, push that down, slide it over. Well, that's finishing up. Let's pour some salsa. Brought some salsa to eat with it. Medium cantina style is what it says. Ooh. I'm sure there's a spatula or a flipper somewhere around here, but I have not washed any utensils. This is stuff I brought, and I forgot to bring a flipper with me. So everything needs washed in this cabin before we use it. I'll just go ahead and take that out. Set that there. Dinner is served.
He's got no time. Wow. Good plays. Good plays. Even gets the five.
Well, I think that's going to do it for me tonight. Going to get some rest. Try to wake up at a decent hour tomorrow. Sometime after 10 o'clock. I've had a long day of driving and then a long afternoon of cleaning. Had a good dinner though. That was really nice. And I'm happy to be here. So I'm going to get some rest. See you guys in the morning. got a lot of work to do today. Excited to get started. Slept a little later than I wanted. I got up about 8 o'clock. That's okay. I was nice and comfortable. It was warm in my sleeping bag. So it's kind of rainy. That's gonna be the story for today. Almost all 3 days really. So I wasn't in any rush to wake up. I'm not on a time schedule. See almost an all white deer last night. That was really cool. I got a couple pictures of it. I tried to take some video, but it was almost dark and I had to zoom in so the resolution's not that great. But very cool deer. His whole back half was white and then his front half was pretty much brown. First night here, got to see a whole herd of deer and got to see are they called piebald? Piebald. You guys. Half white, half brown deer. White-tailed deer. Next thing on the agenda, I believe, is we're going to take care of this living room. I think the best way to go about doing this project is just take one room at a time. You saw we already got the bedroom cleaned up. Now it's time to start on this. I would like to be able to, like I said, use that wood stove, sit down, relax this evening, have a nice dinner. So that's what we're going to work on today. That's our goal. Got a lot of these containers moved. Took outside. I'll have to find a place to do that, but they're under the porch. It's a wet, rainy day. I told you that before. But in this bag, this is a bunch of stuff that I need to take home and wash. I have 2 of these bags, bedding, the curtains from both these rooms. I'm going to take those home and wash them, get them brightened up a little bit. Making a little bit of progress. I can walk around a little bit better. There won't be a whole lot of tripod shots just because the space is pretty small. The tripod takes up, at least the tripod I have, takes up a little bit of room, and I don't want to knock it over in here while I'm moving around. So I'll just keep giving you guys these little updates. Took me several minutes to get this drawer open. I don't know how long it's been closed for. That drawer came right open, but oh, I wonder how long this stuff's been in here. See if I can find anything with a date on it, at least. Well, that says 1993. Woo! A lot of mouse stuff in there. Major update on the living room here at the cabin. I have it livable again. I got to deal with a few things over there, but for the most part, I got it all cleaned up. So happy with this. Now when people come, they have a place to sit down, hang out. Especially in the wintertime when you can have the wood stove going, keep warm. I've made a lot of progress in the last 24 hours. Very happy. It's been a long, wet, rainy day. Spent quite a few hours cleaning up that living area, so I just want to cook something simple and hot for dinner. So you guys have seen me make these before. The jalapeno cheddar, I guess sausages, hot dogs, whatever you want to call them. And then I just had some peppers and onions to cook in there with them. That's what we're doing. Simple, easy, tastes real good. Get me warmed back up. Oh yeah. Yep, those onions are starting to caramelize nice. The sausage get a little bit of color on it. I'd like to have more, but we're just cooking them in a non-stick skillet here. Hopefully when it's less wet, we can go out there and cook over the fire and do some fun stuff. While we're letting that finish up, I wanted to show you guys something over here. You see this old crock pot? That burnt orange color? You best believe if that thing works, we're going to be cooking with it. I love all that retro stuff. I think we're going to call this good. I know it probably doesn't look crazy on the camera, but just a couple little sausages and some peppers and onions. I've just been sitting here enjoying my nice clean living area in these beautiful 1970s chairs with some wood paneling and proper cabin fashion. Cabin fashion. You know what I'm trying to say. After dinner there, my cousin Scott stopped by. We talked for probably an hour and a half or so, just catching up, talking about things, having a good time. So I didn't film any of that, obviously, but whew, it's a little after 10:30. I'm gonna watch a couple YouTube videos and then get ready and head to bed. Got some stuff to get done tomorrow. I'm gonna show you guys a little bit more of the property, talk a little bit about the history of the property that I know, and show you guys some of the projects that we got to do coming up. Obviously, you know about cleaning up, getting the living areas better, but there's still a lot of actual things that need fixed and things that need done. So I'm going to walk you guys through some of that and show you what we're going to be working towards later this year and upcoming episodes and stuff. All right. Good night, guys. I'll see you in the morning. Morning, guys. The sun's up. It's nice to see. It's been basically 3 days of wet, rainy weather. So I'm excited to get out of the house. It's supposed to be 71 degrees today, too. Went from 40s and 50s, wet and rainy, to sunny and 70. Ran into my first problem. I don't know if you want to call it a mechanical problem, technical issue. The refrigerator stopped working. Yesterday when I was going to make my sausages and I got my peppers and onions out of the freezer, I knew there was a lot of condensation on the bags and they were kind of like half melty. So I checked the temperature in the freezer and the refrigerator. It was 48 degrees. So I let the refrigerator run all night and it's up to 51 in the refrigerator. And it's set on its coldest setting. It's unplugged now because I have a mini fridge going, but 51 degrees in the fridge. I haven't got over the fact that my food has been ruined because of the faulty refrigerator. But I got to move on from that. I got other stuff to eat. And now that I have the living room and that bottom bedroom cleaned out, I have another problem to deal with. All this stuff. I got to figure something to do with it. And I got to figure out something to do with this stuff before I continue because, the porch will get to a point where I'm not going to be able to walk on it. There's even more junk over there. There was a lot of stuff in there that I cleaned out. This is all going to the dump. Probably move these window air conditioners out to one of the sheds, and the stuff at the end of the hall there is coming home with me. So I do have a little bit of a plan. So you got to get started, start moving stuff. I'm leaving in the morning, and I'm not going to be back for about 2 weeks. So I want to make sure there's nothing out here anything can get into or get blown around by the wind or anything like that. So I'm going to get to working. This might be a band-aid for right now, but at least they're off the porch. Whew. I brought up some basic hand tools to keep here at the cabin. Got a socket set with some ratchets, and then just screwdrivers, some wrenches, standard and metric, various pliers, wire cutters, stuff like that, and then some C-clamps, a little pry bar, hammer. Still worn out from carrying those air conditioners. But you always need hand tools, and I need to get those out of my truck so I can put some of this other stuff in the truck. Hello, how's it going? don't know if they like me or not. Silently staring at me. Beefs, I tell you. Pretty much got the porch cleaned up as best I can. It's like 2:30 and I haven't had lunch yet, so you guys know what happened with my food. So I think it's time for a little bit of Jif. I got bread. Peanut butter sandwich time. Surprisingly, we got our first thunderstorm of the year. It was calling for rain tonight, and it was beautiful and sunny. Got up to 70 today, but I was not expecting a thunderstorm, which was actually pretty nice. Sat out there on the porch, listened to the rain on the tin roof, and listened to the thunder. It was actually pretty relaxing. Luckily, I was able to get the porch mostly cleaned off besides the trash that we need to take to the dump. Um, and then I kind of just enjoyed my afternoon. Talked to my lovely wife on the phone for a while, video called her, showed her around everything we got going on. My parents talked to them. So I've just been hanging out this afternoon for dinner since the whole thing happened. Then I'm gonna try this thing. Cheesy pepperoni pizza bowl. I think you guys have seen this in a couple shorts or my last video. I actually have two of these. So super happy to try it out. Just gonna boil some water on the stove, pour it in there, there's dinner. Nothing fancy, no lobster tails. I don't know if I told you guys, there was lobster tails in the fridge. I was gonna do um, mixed vegetables, instant mashed potatoes, and three like small lobster tails I got at the grocery store. And I was gonna sit out there on the back porch and eat them with you, but gotta go with the flow. Things happen. Put my comfy clothes on. Gonna sit here and relax a little bit. My phone's almost dead, so I'm gonna let that charge up. Then I'm gonna go over and make my dinner. First week of March, and we're already getting thunderstorms. It's pretty good. I mean, I think I might like the beef enchilada bowl that I've had before a little bit better than this. But it has the same type of flavor as like store bought frozen pizza, like pizza pockets or like Red Baron French bread pizza or something like that. It's pretty good. Don't mind it at all. It's not lobster tail though, so. Cheesy pepperoni pizza bowl. Not too bad. If I had to rate it, I would give it a 7 out of 10. Not my favorite one that I've gotten and eaten, but it'll do. Oh, I'm nice and full though. It did fill me up. Tomorrow, I think I said this last evening, but tomorrow I'm going to show you guys some of these immediate projects that I need to get working on besides just cleaning up here on the house. And then once we can get the house figured out, then I can move around to some of the outbuildings and get those things straightened up. Just didn't work out for me to show you today with trying to get the porch cleaned up, hanging out, talking with everybody, my cousins that came up to see me and stuff. And then these storms moved in this afternoon, which I was not expecting, but it was kind of nice. I'm probably going to sit here, watch a couple videos, relax a little bit. It's not super late. It's only 8:30, but I'm going to try to get to bed a little bit earlier tonight than I did the last couple. So I'll see you guys in the morning. Good night. Morning, everyone. I already got the truck loaded up. I spared you watching that. I just got up this morning, had my morning beverage, and got the truck loaded up. Like I promised, here before we end the video, I'm going to show you some of these projects that I need to get done sooner than later, really. First thing that's really kind of like a safety hazard that really needs fixed is the ceiling here for the breezeway. Is the supports are rotted and it's fallen down. I can literally push up on this. There's a little thing there and this 2x4 setup here and a couple blocks over here. I'm not gonna do that because I feel like any little nudge might send that thing down. Let me crawl up here and show you what I'm talking about. So there's not really anything up there. You can see the roof. That's the top of the kitchen part of the cabin. And then the roof comes the whole way over and meets this side here. How I plan to fix this is I'm going to come along and pry all these boards off because I would like to reuse these boards. They're all in pretty good shape. There's a couple that need replaced, but for the most part, they're good to go. Once I pry all of those off, I'm going to replace these supports. I don't know how many of them there are. 3 or 4, 5 of them maybe. Replace these. That should be pretty simple and easy. And then put these boards back up so it looks the way it did. I need to get this particular project done before we have our family reunion because I really don't want this thing to fall on anybody. It needs done. The next thing, I showed you inside there, up inside the roof, there were waters coming in here. And there's vines and stuff. So we're going to get a new roof put on the house. That's probably the first thing that's going to happen. But what I'm going to do is pressure treated T111 siding on the house here, and then obviously run some flashing, tuck it up underneath the siding, and then lay the other side down on the roof. Both sides. The other side's actually a lot smaller piece because there's no porch. You can see on this side it's a much smaller area. I would love to do this, that like board siding, but with the price of lumber, that's just going to be way too expensive. And that should keep everything dry, keep this wall from getting wet, and keep our ceiling here from rotting out again. The next is up here on the porch. So I'm going to brace all of these better than how they are right now. I'm going to run a gusset here to each one of them because they are notched. And this is hardwood. This stuff's tough. But I just want to make it a little bit better. When I see things like this, it makes me feel like this porch is one major blizzard or real heavy snowfall away from maybe failure. Honestly, it's been here a very long time, and I want it to stick around for a whole bunch more years. This corner of the porch right here also needs some work. Where the water damage continued down here, it got up in here. You can just, like, all this siding needs to come off. Like, I gotta get that fixed up. So the important things are roof, fix the siding and flashing so we stop getting water damage, and fix the ceiling there in the breezeway. I obviously don't think the porch is just going to fall down on its own. I think it would be like if we got like a 2-foot snowstorm, or God forbid 3 feet or something like that, which happens in this area, not very often, but it does happen, especially if it's wet snow. You guys know how heavy that is. So I'm going to get all that fixed up. Those are going to be like my projects this summer, and if I can get all that stuff done, we're going to move into some of the other stuff. If you've made it this far in the video, I really appreciate you. It means a lot to me. If you want to see me continue on this project, the best way you can support me is hitting that subscribe button, leaving a comment, leaving a like. Very small channel, and I would love to keep bringing you guys this stuff if you want to see it. I also plan to bring you guys some of the detailed history of this house. I'm working with some family members to try to get everything locked down. The property is actually way older than I thought it was. It predates 1825. There's apparently a birth record of somebody being born here in the year 1825, so it was here before that, so 200 years. Old log house built up on a rock shelf. It's not going anywhere. All right, guys, you know the drill. Time for me to head home. Been up here for 3 days, and I got some stuff to do when I get back to the house. And remember, guys, if you get the chance, spring's coming. Go out and enjoy some of your own adventures. I'll see you next time.